Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here. Happy Friday. This is Bachelor Nation News. Unfortunately, Tayshia's under the weather and in the hospital. I'm going to tell you exactly everything we know, which isn't much, but this comes days after she ran a marathon, which is a 26.2 mile run. She actually ran it very fast. I was surprised. She ran it in the low to mid 4 hours, which is like a 9 to 10 minute split. I mean, it's a long day, but it's a fast race. Could she just be suffering from dehydration or, post-marathon fatigue? We'll get into all that. Some of your comments, actually a lot of your comments on Reddit regarding her hospitalization are pretty brutal. People are like, hey, don't post a hospital selfie and not give us any context. And I know that comes from people meaning well by basically saying, hello, we care about you. Could you give us some more information? What are you doing? Everyone's like, this reminds me of like early Facebook days when you'd post like, got in a breakup, and then everyone would comment like, oh yeah, is everything okay? Don't want to talk about it. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, like this video. We're going to get right into it. Got a live stream tomorrow morning at 8:30. If you guys want to check that out, that's on the Patreon only at patreon.com/Dave Neal, where I talk a lot about the behind the scenes aspect of the channel, algorithms, how to build your YouTube, just general chit chat, stuff like that. Grab a coffee, 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. So let's get right into this content right here. So here's the Instagram. I'll play it. It's quick. There isn't much to it. Turn the volume up. So just a sigh. That's the same sigh that, my fiance makes every time I make a joke that she doesn't find funny. And, but boy, she could feel hospitalized sometimes too. So let's see here. Is she walking anywhere? We've got some machines here. I'm not a nurse. No, it looks like she's stationary. At first I thought she was being like pushed down the gurney or something. So of course there's a bunch of news about this. None of it really makes sense. Everyone just kind of recapping what went down this week. I'll share Bachelor's Tayshia Adams hospitalized less than 1 week after completing the New York City Marathon. I mean, the marathon was what? Was it on Saturday or Saturday or Sunday? So yeah, just maybe she's tried to recover for a few days and realized she needed fluids, or could it be something worse? It could always be we wish everyone well. We don't want anyone to have any sort of distress or other issues, especially during a pandemic. I can only imagine what that adds to having to go to the hospital during a pandemic. I know for my fiance, when she got pneumonia last month, everyone was like, oh my gosh, COVID and this and that. And she had to go to the hospital and she was coughing nonstop. So everyone was like, oh my gosh, you're coughing. And she tore a rib. She tore her cartilage in her rib from coughing and sneezing so much because it was such a violent thing. And, luckily she was able to get some good attention and get healed up real quickly. And I hope Tayshia can do the same. But all she said was, well, I've been here since 9:30 a.m. She posted that closer towards noon, which, by the way, is not that long of a time there. Come to Los Angeles and wait in line with your Medicare. All right. Details are unknown at this time, but it's likely related to her marathon recovery. A source exclusively tells Us Weekly, confirming that Adams checked into a hospital this morning. These sources are BS. I got a video coming up next about Katie Thurston. She had a live last night for 2 hours. She spilled a lot of tea, as the kids call it, chamomile in this case, and she talked a lot about her breakups and this and that. We'll get into that video next. But Katie Thurston basically said, all the sources that you read about online, they're all garbage. Will I still comment on them? Hell yeah, I will. So anyway, we don't know much about it at all. California native and her fiance, Zach Clark, finished the 26.2 mile New York City Marathon on Sunday, November 7th. Adams was running in support of World Vision, which is a Christian charity specializing in humanitarian aid, while Clark, 36, competed for his Release Recovery Foundation. I'm surprised she didn't run on behalf of Release and Recovery. I guess maybe together they wanted to support two different foundations. After completing the marathon side by side in just under 5 hours, Clark praised his fiancée for her dedication to training and her perseverance during the course. So this is what Zach Clark had to say. The untold story about Tayshia is one of humility and courage. She would never tell the world how truly inspiring her performance was yesterday at the New York City Marathon, but I will. Leading up to Sunday, she did dozens of interviews where she could have talked about her chronic knee, back pain, or her inability to train due to her insane schedule, but instead she talked about her charity of choice, World Vision USA, and how grateful she was for all the support from family, friends, fans, and strangers. The New Jersey native who proposed to Adams gushed over his love, who he said was allergic to excuses. There's a few people. This commenter named Susan, not Susan Rich, but Susan. I can't remember her last name. She's always like, Dave, why do you hate Tayshia so much? I don't hate Tayshia. I think Tayshia's vibrant. I think she's a vibrant energy. I think she's not good at Zoom interviews. And that's tough to listen to because it's hard to be like engaging over Zoom. I totally get that. I also think she was misguided in the way she used, or at least said she used, her PPP loan funds. I think it's okay for me to say those things. She said she used her PPP loan funds, which is the money that was given to small businesses. She said she used it to hire a new assistant who then she kept full time. And the truth is the PPP loans were not to hire new people. It wasn't to build your business. It was to keep people on the payroll that you already employed. So because of that, I'm not saying she committed fraud, but she should have to pay the loan back. Is it as egregious as Ari taking the loan out and not really saying anything at all about what he's accountable for? No. But of course, it's still worth calling out. I think Tayshia does a really good job as a host, especially with Caitlyn. I think Caitlyn's a little more on the goofy side, and Tayshia's kind of like the ride along to Caitlyn's goofiness. I think it's great together, but I don't think anyone's immune. Immune's a good word here. Immune from criticism. But I just wanted to comment on that. I think Tayshia's great. I think I have criticized her though for not going into heavy topics that other people have paved the way to talk about, but she doesn't have to. She can cash the check and try to stay out of controversy. Absolutely. So what kind of sicknesses do you get after running a marathon? If this is marathon based, I don't think it's the type of thing where she's in there for like a knee problem. I mean, it could be. She could just have crazy joint pain. When I ran a marathon, this was again, 15 years ago. I ran it when I was 19. I separated my kneecap. Everything pulled off the kneecap. It was brutal. I didn't run again for a while after that. I could barely bend over. Truth is, I could barely go to the bathroom. I could barely like set myself down. You couldn't stand. You couldn't sit. I mean, it is a wicked feeling. The feeling of elation runners experience when crossing the finish line of a marathon can quickly be replaced by the sluggish, run-down feeling they endure in the hours and days following the event. The amount of stress put on the body during a marathon often causes runners to come down with a post-race cold or sickness. Good news is that these illnesses can be avoided with a healthy, cautious recovery period after the race. Why runners get sick? And stick around because I'm going to read the comments from Reddit, what people have to say. It's pretty interesting. Moderate exercise has been shown to improve the body's immunity to disease. Periods of strenuous exercise lasting longer than 90 minutes can weaken the body's immune system. After 90 minutes, depending on a runner's reserve of carbohydrate energy, the body uses up its natural energy supply of glucose, triggering the release of the stress molecule cortisol. Higher levels of cortisol, in turn, can weaken the immune system and make the body more susceptible to infection. So there it is, folks. That's what it could be. And of course, let's go to this article here. Do you guys familiar with the original marathon? It's pretty wild. And again, this is just sort of hearsay. This is a myth. We don't know if this is true. Most runners know the legend of the marathon, which goes something like this. In 490 before Common Era, after the Athenian army defeated a bunch of Persian invaders at the coastal town of Marathon, a Greek messenger named Philippides dashed off to Athens, 25 miles away, dramatically announcing his side's victory, and collapsed and died. Athenian democracy was saved in the commemorate Philippides run. Many of us now run a race, the marathon, that's about 25 miles long. Well, how did they get 26.2? And by the way, this article says a Greek messenger named Philippides dashed off to announce his side's victory. But I've also heard rumors that they thought they were victorious, and then they saw the other side's boats turning around because they were going to invade from a different area, and that's why he ran. The point is if they just had Twitter back then Philippides could have been like, yo, looks like, what up? We win, and then he could send that out, and then his bosses could retweet it. But hey, back then he had to run on foot. You complain about your slow internet with your Metro PCS. Imagine being Philippides. Anyway, so here's your comments regarding it all. And I will say this, pretty scathing. Again, though, it is Reddit, which I believe to be the most progressive in some ways, and also the most toxic in others. The way they sort of talk about the contestants on the show. We could defend that all day long. I mean, it's obviously Reddit. It's a bunch of different people, so it comes off in different ways. But what we know is their groupthink can be very toxic, very toxic. I think it's why this channel went from 7,000 to 46,000 subscribers this year, because people want more story than just toxicity coming at one angle. They get that on Facebook. They get that at other places too. It's not just Reddit. After reading what Zach had said about her health concerns leading up to a marathon, I wonder if it's related to that. Then someone said, "What's wrong? Text me." OMG, I'm cackling. You're giving me flashbacks of why I deleted Facebook. So these are people talking about the fact that she's screaming for attention. Someone said probably dehydrated. My thoughts too. Between ER wait times, waiting for doctors, waiting for at least 2 bags of fluid to be distributed, going to the hospital for dehydration can be a day trip. My bet is rhabdo. So let's go and see what rhabdo is, because multiple people said this. Oh, rhabdomyolysis. That was my first time trying to pronounce it. Did I do that right? What is rhabdo? Rhabdo, by the way, don't take any health or medical advice or anything from me. We're just, we're novices trying to figure this out. Rhabdo is the breakdown of damaged muscle, which results in the release of muscle cell contents into the blood. The proteins and electrolytes released into the blood can cause organ damage. Rhabdo can occur anytime muscle is damaged or killed in the workplace, can include heat exposure, physical exertion, or overuse and direct trauma. Now, of course, there's plenty of horrible things that can happen after a marathon. It's not exactly healthy, 6-mile run, 15-mile run. Everybody's bodies are different. Some people can run a marathon a day. Some people can just run all day long. Their hearts are just strong like that. Their bodies are limber. Their joints can take it. And then some people require 6 months to recover or longer. I mean, I never ran a marathon after mine. Now, if I run 6 or 7 miles, that's like really strenuous. I'm kind of more of a sprinter type of body naturally. But I ran my marathon as everyone does for different reasons. Mine was to prove I could do something very different than anything I'd ever done before. And 3 hours, 47 minutes, 30 seconds. I was pretty happy with that. 3 hours, 47 minutes is pretty fast. The Ocean Drive Marathon in Ocean Drive, New Jersey. Rhabdo can cause many problems: kidney damage, kidney failure, nausea, vomiting, permanent disability, death. So this could be serious, but obviously I think by the fact that she was posting about it means it's more of a nuisance to her. What do I know? We'll probably get downvoted, but honestly, whenever anyone says we'll probably get downvoted, they normally get lots of upvotes. It's like people don't really understand how it all works. But my biggest pet peeve is when people say, just my opinion. So why don't you guys tell me something crazy positive in the comment section and then say, just my opinion, but I think that the world's a good place and we could all respect each other more. Just my opinion. Wouldn't it be nice if because usually every comment I get is like, just my opinion, you're vanilla, I approved you, blah, 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 blah. Be nice to get a just my opinion compliment. All right, I'm kidding. Don't, there's been so many times when a family member friend will tag themselves at the hospital without explanation, and then there's like 30 comments from concerned loved ones asking what happened. Like, people are going to freak out or be worried. Why are you there? Are you okay? It just feels a little attention-seeking. Yeah, whenever I've been in the hospital for whatever reasons, I'm usually feeling like complete garbage, and the last thing on my mind is posting a pic for social media. Now, what I would have to do, if I had to be in the hospital, first I would have to say I'm okay, because gosh knows I'm going to get calls from relatives. Oh my God, what? It's like, I broke my toe. I stubbed it trying to pick up leaves, whatever the case may be. My worst ER moment was in college. I was cleaning up a broken mug that had fallen onto the ground, and I was kicking it sideways, like with Timberland boots. And I would show you the scar that I have, but that's you don't want to see my feet, trust me. And I was kicking the glass to the side, but it was on a carpet. And I kicked it so hard. It would have been like a 10 or 20 yard field goal kick. Like I was kicking it like boom hard. Well, the glass got stuck in the rug and went straight through my leather boot and went straight into my foot. Ooh, right. And then as I was starting to walk, it was numb right away. So I didn't know what happened. But then I started to walk. I could feel like I was walking in mud, and it turned out that was blood in my shoe, and I had to go to the ER, and I spent a long while there. But this is before the times of Instagram. Back then, I'd have to get a Shutterfly account. I'd have a friend take a photo with a digital camera. I'd have to get the USB cord and hook it up to my block computer. Life's easier these days, folks. All right. Well, let me know what you guys think. I hope everyone is safe out there this weekend. And don't forget, Vlogmas is around the corner. Here's a little cheat for what I'm going to be doing this year. I've got 24 days of wine right here, guys. So I'm going to be doing 24 days of wine on Vlogmas. Little bottles of wine. And I'm going to be doing arts and crafts, live streaming, gingerbread making, pine cone decorating with scented cinnamon oil, different, I've got homemade soap, all these different things we're going to be doing this year for Vlogmas. One vlog every single day from December 1st leading up to Christmas. You're going to want to stick around for that. That's going to be on Dave Neal Vlogs channel. So go over to Dave Neal Vlogs, subscribe now. You can watch last year's Vlogmas, drone shots, how expensive Christmas trees are in LA, $600, and all the other things going on. So I'll be doing that tomorrow morning. Patreon will be at 8:30 a.m. patreon.com/Dave Neal. So you can go check that out. I'll be kind in the comment section, and I'll see you out there. Bye, everybody.